Now let's see if we get the budget down instead of scores. All right, Jeff.
So the sheet I just handed y'all, and I'll take responsibility for it. Maybe I didn't attach it properly, but I talked to Sean and Matt. Those are some increases that I did ask for the part-time deputy coordinators that assist me in the office, and they don't reflect in your budget. So those increases total $7,000.
Everybody?
Everybody all together, and I reduced lines by $6,000. So I'm asking for a net of $1,000 to cover these. And just to give you a heads up, like the fire coordinator position, I'm requesting to get it to $12,000. That's $1,000 a month for our fire coordinator, who responds to every structure fire in the entire county, which is a lot more than you would think, and has numerous meetings, and it's just, I think it's a job that's worthy of it. The other guys, like Deputy Director Rick Sager, I'm asking for his to go from $4,500 to $6,000 a year. And Rick is retired now and been spending a lot more time with me. Jeff Kazar from $2,000 to $3,000. Sean Piasecki and Tim Miller from $2,500 to $3,000. So they're a little bit of an increase, but when you, at the grand scheme of things, when you look at what they're making for what they do and what they're on the hook for, it's really next to nothing.
So overall, your budget's 1,000 up.
Well, no, I said the pay increases are 1,000 more than I was able to reduce the lines. The other two things in my budget that you'll see is a vehicle. Last year I put in for a vehicle and a shed for the Yost Fire Training Center. And when the county executive and the treasurer said budget was tough, I told them to take it out immediately, that we'd survive another year. Well, we have survived another year, but now Dale's vehicle is a 2004 with over 132,000 miles, and it's an emergency response vehicle. The other thing I want to point out to the legislature, and it's not anyone's fault here, but the county hasn't purchased an emergency management vehicle in over 25 years. We've been able to secure them all, every one of them 100% from grants. The state has changed their policy on vehicles. They consider it supplanting. They don't want to buy them anymore on grants, that they feel the county's responsibility. But I did get permission to use half a grant, so I have the revenue, the $23,811 they approved for me to put towards the vehicle. So I have half a vehicle paid for by grant if the legislature supports the second. I realize it's a tough budget year. If we don't get it this year, I'll ask next.
What's the numbers?
23,811 is in the revenue.
Okay.
And I put $50,000 in the vehicle line.
So the overall is 24,000.
What's that?
This is 48,811.
Does it? I apologize, and I put $25,000 from the county.
So the overall difference in your budget from this to last is 24, 26?
26.
If you subtract the vehicle out of my budget, and then the other thing that you're going to see in there that's an increase is there's $10,000 for the city of Amsterdam. That is a lump sum that I'm hoping the county will recognize what the city is doing for us now in emergency services. I met with Chief Woody numerous times and Mike Billy, the mayor. The city of Amsterdam is really our initial hazmat response team right now for any place in the county. If there's a hazardous material incident, whether it's in St. Johnsville, Kanjahari, Fonda, town of Amsterdam, the city of Amsterdam responds with 4 firefighters and an engine. And we meet them with our hazmat equipment. And then we're backed up and supported by the volunteers throughout the county. But volunteers have come to the point where it's difficult to get them to respond, and it's difficult to keep up with the training.
Where is that, Jeff?
Is that miscellaneous supporting?
It's 4438.
That's why I went up 10,000, yes.
Jeff, is there any option of leasing the vehicle?
So replacing Dale's, you mean with a lease? I would have to check with the state to see if they would support it because of the grant money. Certainly it's an option, especially if it's cheaper. But again, with the grant money, I've got to get everything approved through Homeland Security, so I can check on that.
Question maybe for the county attorney. In regards to the 10,000, as Jeff just described it, would that have to be done through a contract with the city, or can we just, how do we do?
I would like to see it be a contract, and even a 3-year contract, something that we could get behind, because I didn't finish my spiel about that. They're also providing confined space rescue for our DPW, our Department of Public Works. So whenever we have a confined space incident where they're doing some work, Amsterdam Fire has agreed to come out and be there, rescue people on standby, which is
So-
required.
So similar to contracts that villages have with other fire departments, we could enter into a similar agreement, not the same, obviously, but
Sounds like it has to be an intermunicipal agreement that's
That-
sharing services.
right, so we could,
Yeah.
you would suggest probably doing that, right? Not just putting it in the line,
Right.
cashing a check or sending a check, but some sort of,
And as well as I and Chief Woody would like to see it that way also. I mainly put the money in the line for discussion to see how the legislature felt about it, and moving forward, we can have further discussions, we can do some language, whatever you think is best. But the two services that they're providing to us on a county level, we need. You know, it's just a matter of if you feel,
so your total budget, revenues and everything, we're looking at a $26,000 around.
yes, and if you take the vehicle out, and you take the Amsterdam City money out, and you take that $2,000 line out on your building's ground equipment, that's for storage shed at the training center, my budget is well below what it was last year.
But we can't if we leave it in. We can't take it, if you want it, we can't,
I understand that, I'm just, those are the three things that you're gonna see that's affecting the increase is what I'm trying to say.
I'd like to say a couple of things if I could. One, I support all of it. I think it's great, and I think coming at this point is prudent. $10,000 for working with the city is smart. I think that the Amsterdam Fire Department can really be a huge asset if anything does come up, and if nothing does, it's still brilliant to do this, because you set things up that we can still benefit.
Well, it was necessary. We were at the point that we had to do something to increase our, you know, with the rail tracks and the thruway traveling through our county, we were in rough shape for a hazmat incident, so now we're in much, much better shape. And they're doing it now. So this $10,000 is not like something that's being held over anybody's head, it's just something that I'm trying to do.
don't they also have a dive team?
They have divers as well. Amsterdam Police and Amsterdam Fire are working right now with my office and the executive's office, and Fulton County and Saratoga County try to share services, share equipment. But if we have a drowning in the county, they are our first responders.
So if we have an agreement that an intermunicipal agreement, we would name all that stuff in it.
And there's so many things that we really haven't had a chance to talk about. There's a high threat incident plan that I've been working on that they're involved in that. If there's a high threat incident in the county, like an active shooter or something like that, they have agreed to send officers, even if it's the same county. So, you know, from the police department. So there's a lot of things that we're working on together to better our response situation in the county.
Any more questions?
If we have some time, could Jeff explain how your project's going with the broadband?
Yes, project's going very well, it's still on time, although October's coming quick. The engineer study has been completed for all the tower sites. They've gone to the tower sites to determine where antennas will be hung on the tower sites. The equipment has been identified to be ordered, the base stations have been delivered to all the tower sites, so they're in place. Basically, the next step is to hang the antennas. They're doing studies to make sure that the towers are okay. Hang the antennas, order the equipment, and start to deploy it. So everything's on time. This is the last meeting we had. I set up a mini radio committee. There was somebody from the city of Amsterdam, somebody from the eastern part of the county, somebody from the western part of the county, and somebody from the central part. And we've started to have meetings and work out the programming of the radios, so we get everybody on board with that. And it looks like we're going to break it down to zones, because we have 4 fire grounds, and then we're using state-provided mutual aid VTEC, VCall frequencies, and we're going to have at least 16, maybe 20 channels in each zone pre-identified. One will be for dispatching, one will be for response, one will be fire ground, one will be for command, interior, fire police, water shuttle, emergency management, and they're all going to be labeled. And every radio in the county that we issue will be the same way. So if I'm in an emergency scene and they say, grab the radio, when I grabbed that radio, channel 4 on zone A is channel 4 on zone A across the board. And some highway crews have been in touch also about maybe getting into the system, so it's going very well.
So you anticipate by the end of the year being up, or?
It's supposed to be by the end of October.
Okay.
That's my goal, our goal, and that's what we've been stating all along, and nobody's told me anything
Different.
otherwise.
Okay, good.
Anyone else? Okay.
Stop DWI? No, not tonight, not needed.
You got it with you?
It's the same, as
Same.
same exact as last year.
Okay.
Yeah, so we don't need to, we can cross that off. for the-
Okay.
Thank
Martin
you.
Kelly, hang on, Martin Kelly has a question.
Yes, sir.
DWI. The revenues have been declining?
The revenues have been declining. Speaking with the treasurer, we kept our revenues at the same this year because we think we're gonna make it. So that's a good thing. I've been working with the sheriff's office, specifically to try to work on ways to recoup some fine money that's out there in warrants, reports, and we've been successful lately. This last month, there's been 6 or 7 people.
So we're not using any of the funds?
We do use a little bit, without having it in front of me, I want to say $10,000, $15,000.
I believe it's 28, yeah.
Is it that much, 28?
So where does that leave that fund balance?
But it's, we don't have one right now.
If I remember last year, it got under 100,000, so if that's true, it should be around 75 roughly, is my guess, but
I can check and let you know. Where that's.
at some point, if the revenues continue the same way, it's going to affect the county budget because we give $46,000 to the sheriff's office, $25,000 to probation, $25,000 to the district attorney's office, and the hit has to happen someplace if it continues that path. At this point, we still continue to fund all the county positions to the best of our ability and the educational items for the kids and the youth and trying to educate people to stop driving while intoxicated.
But that's the goal, right, to get less people?
It is, but the numbers haven't decreased, so it's not that. It's not like DWI is going away.
Okay.
Just people aren't paying, people are out of the area and they're harder to find.
Oh, okay.
People pay a little bit and then they never finish paying and they disappear into the sunset. So I've been working with the courts, but it's different.
Okay.
Thanks, Jeff.
Okay, thank you.
Kenneth? Geez, Ken, looks like your budget's down
Yeah, well,
25,000.
well, there was a couple things that we took out of there. We had that discussion last year, that talked about it this year. To take all those tourism, the outside tourism dollars that go to the chamber, to put that in the county exec budget for this upcoming year, to take it out of our budget. I have to sign the vouchers and everything that comes through, always work with the county exec's office for them to sign up on the vouchers and everything that comes through there. So that's the big difference in our budget. The only other thing, I mean, everything's the same. The only other change I had was I did add, I don't know where it was last year, Sean, maybe I added $1,000 to mileage, because we're gonna be, over our mileage allocation this year. We've just been out everywhere, in regards to projects and everything and staff. Other than that, everything's the same. The revenues, for mass transportation, federal, both state and federal mass transportation, that's set by the state. We base these numbers off of the numbers that we got this year, but that changes from year to year. So usually that comes in nice for a budget amendment sometime through the year. That's just an offset revenue in, appropriations out. So the other stuff is the $17,500 for the MCIDA administration. That's the same as last year, and then the $25,000 to administer the own fund, which goes from the CD fund into the general fund to offset some of our department costs. So other than that, it's pretty simple.
Questions?
I just got a quick comment. I just wanted, since we're all here publicly, you know, when we first got here, Ken's office was a little different than it looks now, and we gave him some extra help, and Dave has been doing a fantastic job from one side of the county to the other. We just went on the trip to DC for the Beach Nut Design Charrette, which can't wait to talk a little bit more about that. Obviously, some big projects, but also helping the towns and the villages and the city with their needs. They've been doing a top-notch job, so I just want to give you a kudos on that.
Great job, Ken. Okay.
Just one question. The professional services line, looks like you're doing away with it.
Well, we may, it depends on that, what legislative react, it depends if we get a grant or something and we have a contract, we come back to authorize Matt to sign that contract, anything over 75, and then we do the budget amendment at that time. So we don't know, there's a couple that we had out there this year is the Culinary Incubator Grant for the City of Amsterdam. The other one that's out there for 2016, that's in that professional line item, should be, for this year's budget, should be the Ag Farmland Protection Plan. So that's why, and right now, like I said, there'll probably be something that'll come back to you guys in 2017 for that, but that's usually that's just a wash. If we get a grant, goes out contractual basis, so.
Okay.
Thanks, Ken.
Thanks, Ken.
Could you go over the mass transfer? There's a difference there. What's the increase with that?
I'm trying to think.
Hi, Roy.
The old resolution, we did a couple resolutions this year, so we just mirrored what we ended up with. There's always a cleanup that the state gives, this mass transportation provider. Got more, and I forgot what it was. But this all goes, it's our contract with Brown, so it comes into the contract directly with Brown.
Okay, we have two left. Real property and Office of the Aging. Make any phone calls, Cheryl? I'm in favor of trying
We
to...
gotta wait till 7 anyway, right?
Gotta wait till 7.
Yeah, we do, but I'm in favor of trying to consolidate the next meeting. What do you guys think?
The schedule is already out and people are already prepared to come, so.
So you're buying dinner next time, right?
Yeah, who's with me? I think we got a week to get them to come to...
Pizza and cookies for tonight.
No, I'm talking about next week, or the 16th and 18th, consolidate those two.
I'm thinking,
On the 16th, we have meetings.
Yeah.
After the budget, we have.
Yeah, what's the time it is? It's 5 o'clock.
Do you think we can?
would you want to put
take-
them all on the 18th or all on the 16th?
Either way, do one more meeting night. I mean, we're
Put them on the 6th.
I will say this though, also, these were the easier budgets. You know, we had DPW, we got ESS, we got Sheriff. I suspect they'll be a little longer than, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to consolidating this.
I think you get the hard, the longer ones on the 18th, because we didn't have committees.
If you wanted to move the ones on the 16th to the 18th, that might be a good idea.
There's really not a lot of resolutions to stay up here 16. They're gonna do it all on Tuesdays, Thursday.
You guys let me know.
Well, if you did it on the 16th, you could always, if you had to, do something the 18th. Probably. Yeah, I'd rather stay late one night if we had to. It's up to you guys.
And who are we waiting on Monday?
We didn't finish on the 16th. We had leftover come on the 18th.
Yeah.
I think we can finish. I think we can finish. Move our committee meeting to 7 if we have to. Gives you 3 hours to get through.
I'm ready. This is everything that you have on the 18th. Concerning the fourth.
Sean's here now.
Budget, personnel, expenditure, ESS, and then the 6th.
Yeah, she is.
And we don't have. He only gave me the ones for tonight.
Megan, you could do yours tonight, couldn't you? I mean, everybody's here, although Roy.
We don't have.
These are nice little introductions, but I mean, we have a lot of work ahead of us. Will take place after the.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, tomorrow I could take the ones that are on the 18th and just schedule them for every 15 minutes and then start the committee after.
So if we take a 15-minute break, we're not going to.
Yeah, I mean, if we made our committee meeting at 7, if we had our committee meeting at 7 instead of 6, it gives you 3 hours to do it.
Okay.
Unless you don't want to do it one night.
So we're probably going to have about 15 minutes, right?
Well, no, you're going to have the sheriff, you're going to have.
No, he's talking about
Oh,
right
no,
now.
no, no.
Right now, no, she's not supposed to be here till 6 o'clock.
Yeah, we have,
You got a lot of time, but I'll see. I think I have her cell phone, so she's probably home.
I mean, I'd rather take the 18th and sit to talk about the budget itself after we have everybody. You know, if we're going to meet the 18th, use that as a, you know,
I'm gonna try to.
use that as a workshop.
I'm not, you're at.
No, but we would just come as a workshop or something.
You're fine.
So where are we at now? What are we doing exactly?
Say your message.
I think we should put everybody in the 16th before our committee meeting. We would be done with this process, and then if you want to use the 18th or something, kind of book it. We get together and talk about it.
rest of the year?
Just like you said, you got a lot of work to do.
Yeah. Why not? Let's do
You know,
that.
we don't have to do it at 4 o'clock the 18th, if you'd rather, I don't care, I'll do it at 4.
No, I'm with you.
I don't know, you lost me.
I do, I want to move to.
You lost me in your hands.
Yeah, because you don't tell me.
Oh, I will tell you, but I'm your love, man.
I wouldn't want to do all this plus committee plus talk about the budget, because it's going to probably be a few days that we're going to have to meet over that, but we can at least get started, you know. What are you doing, Andy?
So how long is this break anticipate?
This one? So the next person comes, which isn't scheduled until 6.
Who scheduled all this anyway?
Well, the difference is in years past, and I think they're getting the idea, they would come in and tell us all about everything the department does, which really has nothing to do with the budget.
Right.
You know, tell us about the numbers, that's what, you know. I mean, when you talk to Ken and he tells us he's got a reduction in his budget.
I didn't realize that they were scheduled for specific times, it's not on the sheet. Yeah, it is. All right. And then we have a special meeting after that?
Tonight, 7:15, but it's the baseball team won the sectional, so there's pizza and cookies and a video.
So I'm going out for a smoke.
Yeah, Howard,
I might go to Dunkin' Donuts.
unless Sandy shows up. But even if she does, we're gonna be waiting until,
I could go home and come back.
Seriously, right?
Yeah,
or just, oh,
that's 15 minutes away.
I mean, you know, the real property, look
I
at
make only
the,
2 turns to get there.
look at the, real property budget is,
I didn't even know about it.
the real budget, the real property budget is $200 more than it was last year.
That was crazy.
Yeah, but Tom's right. It
Huh?
was up 400.
How people were doing it.
I'm saying, I mean, you know, it's gonna take 2 minutes.
And this is gonna end up being structural issues with the budget itself, not these things, not the work that these people are doing.
No, right.
It's all relative.
Office for the Aging is just gonna be, things that they're gonna come to us with. It's not even on,
Where's their sheet?
there's nothing there because they're not in a department.
Right, but Terry said that there's specific things, so could we, here's the thing, and this is what I do know, and you know this too. If we absorb them, it would cost us, it would be horrendous. So whatever it is, it's better. We have to take it.
We always have though. We've
We
always,
always take it all in. It was only like 1 year, I think, the board supervisors. Where somebody was like,
I didn't think I was gonna get that. I didn't think
yeah,
I
but there was like a, wasn't there like, didn't they ask for like from 100 and, wasn't it like 110 or something? They wanted like 230? That's what spurred,
240, no,
that
because normally
spurred
they
that whole
wanted
thing.
like,
They doubled what they wanted,
well,
or quite a
no,
bit.
it was because like Fulton County cut, like Cornell, and Cornell got like 80, and they wanted the 240. But they were cut, but, yeah. You guys watching the Olympics? That's pretty cool.
Is it last minute jitters or is it going good?
What do you think of Marianne?
What's that? Yeah, they appointed her.
You like her?
It's gonna come, that's it.
Do you know her?
Yeah, I know.
You like her?
I don't think she wants to run though. I think she's
Just filling in.
filling in until March.
She's filling in till,
I don't know why for
Special election in
till
March.
March.
So who called in the AV team here? What's going on?
March, November.
Because
We're,
the village elections are in March.
When the baseball, we did a little video for the baseball team. So they're invited, and so I'm just getting set up. I'll move it away once
Isn't that nice?
somebody gets here. I just want to make sure everything's ready so we don't have to wait any longer than any longer than we have to. So everything's ready to roll. What's that? No, we did. So we got to one of the playoff games, and we should have a video. I'm hoping by the end of the month. So.
Who puts it together for you?
Right now we're using the first couple of videos we used a guy named Joe Calderon. We used it.
I went to school with
Yeah.
Used to work for me.
Okay. Yeah.
Those were
So-
great videos, too.
So yeah, he's out of the news business, but he's running his own video companies.
Oh, really? He's not on the,
Yeah, no, he's been out of there for a little while.
wasn't he in Time Warner for a while?
Yeah, for a long time. They launched, I think he was there for probably 10, maybe more than 10 years. But then he started his own video production company, so he kind of just freelances here and there, so we reached out to
He used to
him.
be in CSS, that's where he started.
Yeah, he told us a couple stories of the games he was doing.
He was one of the most dedicated sports.
Yeah.
people you ever had.
I can imagine that.
Andy, he'd come at 10 o'clock in the morning to get ready for a Friday night
Yeah.
football game.
He was dedicated, that's for
Plus, he'd
sure.
bring us a pizza, so that was good.
Oh, they make.
Oh,
the
yeah,
best
right, yeah.
pizzas.
His brothers own the pizza place.
up there.
He comes from a good family, good mom. Not details, but I've been here since high school.
He was just a neighbor. They were.
All right. Sandy's with us. Sandy, we have your projected budget. Looks like you had something like a $200.
There's $100 difference in
Yeah, maybe.
it. Yeah.
Anything to add to that?
The only reason is the law books last year were more than what I expected them to be. So it's just basically to cover the law books again.
Everything else kind of remains the same.
Yeah.
Questions? Very good job.
Revenue
Holding the line.
so far this year?
Yeah. Yeah. Some of it we don't get till the end of the year because it comes from the town. So, yeah, the bill comes in and then the town's reimbursed.
I do have a question. I was thinking about it on the drive out. The online, so ImageMate is continuously updated, correct?
It's updated, we update it twice a year for the towns and twice
Okay.
a year for the city.
Okay.
So
Now the GIS portion of that, the online GIS, that hasn't been updated, and that was kind of
that was,
acidly decided about a year or two ago.
when it was started through planning.
Yep.
And it was something that they did.
Okay.
And talking to Ken and with us, Ken said not a lot of people use it, so, you know.
So that was something your office really didn't have necessarily a part in other than
Right.
providing data? All right, okay, just was curious on, but that's something I can follow up with Ken about. All right, thanks.
Robert?
We had a conversation earlier with the county clerk about mortgage tax and things like that, and we were struggling about the value of raising it. Can you give us an idea of what annual sales are a year? And is it increasing, is it inching
I
up?
mean, are they going anywhere compared to?
Can you tell us about what an annual sales?
Not here, I can't, but I might have the information back in the office.
Could you get for the past 5 years?
Past 5 years? Well, I can get close, I think. I can certainly look to see what the average sale price is in Montgomery County.
Not the average sales price, I
What do
want the total amount of sales.
Oh, total amount of sales, yes. Yeah, I would have that.
We're trying to figure out what the mortgage tax would have been had we raised it based on those numbers.
The hardest part is that not all the sales are valid sales where there's a price difference. So, you know, you can sell from family to family and it might be $1.
But we would have collected mortgage tax on just that buck, right? I mean, that's not going to change if there's those types of deals. We'll still know what the real number was for that year. We could add 0.5% to it, say that's what our mortgage tax would have been that year.
Okay, I can tell you how many sales occurred, yeah.
Can we do that for,
Not number, but sales volume, dollar amount.
Dollar amount?
Yes, the total amount of sales that occur each year.
I can certainly look to see if I can get that.
let's say there was $1 million worth of sales and we had a 1%, a 0.75% mortgage tax. That equates to this number. All we're trying to find out is what would that number have equated to had the mortgage tax increase went through. And we're looking for a trend of 5 years or something.
Yeah, I can certainly see. I don't know if there's a way that we capture all that data, so I'll look and see if we can get it.
Ryan and Martin.
Mortgage tax, is it only, I'm kind of making an assumption, is it only collected when you file a mortgage? And not necessarily on a sale of property, but only when you file a mortgage?
I thought it was on all sales, but we'd have to ask Helen.
Yeah, because I don't collect any money when they file the record, when they record the deeds, so I don't know.
That would be my only question on whether that would be representative of it or not.
Why don't we just have Sean pull out the numbers of the money that we did receive and multiply it by...
Whatever way to do it, but let's have a sensible way of looking at it and saying, look, and let's trend it.
I think that's the easiest way of going about it, is get the actual number and divide it by blah, blah, blah.
How about we get both?
I would think Wouldn't Helen have that data? The mortgage files in her office.
It's hard to get it out of her. But we asked her for it too.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's true. I mean, as Sean alluded to earlier, you'd have to go through the process of getting it back to the Senate and the Assembly to approve it. And Matt said they're not approving a whole lot.
You're lucky if you can get your sales tax extenders through right now.
But let's
It's a
understand.
home rule request, isn't it?
It's a challenge. Not impossible, but a challenge.
Somebody else? Sandy, thank you very much.
I don't know how to get a hold of Dave Jordan, so.
Yeah, we gotta be here anyway, so.
Well, let's start the ceremony in the video. Oh,
It's a tearjerker.
Cheryl, everything's a tearjerker for you.
It's really nice.
As soon as she checks it, I'll print it on letter and get it.
I'm starved, but you have
Great.
All right, so this, okay.
Anybody know how to get the hold of the,
David Jordan.
yeah,
I just tried. US Women just found
Do you have a cell phone?
Yeah.
we have everybody here tonight. I think Megan could do hers, even though it's not till next week.
I'm fine with that. I didn't bring any of my stuff.
What is your increase total? Or decrease?
$5 million.
Pretty much same?
Every appropriation, every line item in the budget, it decreased. Everything, they cut every line.
Except for.
But because of the increase in salary, like the non-bargaining stuff, that counter.
So it's pretty much even.
It's pretty much, it's $500 more than last year, even though I cut every line.
All right, thank you. You don't have to come next week.
I'll be here anyway.
Easy. Careful what you're pushing for.
Nasty. I have a heads up penny.
Roy, are those your signs from last time? Are they plastic, like bag signs, or are they?
Like a banner.
Yeah.
Vinyl.
Beth do them?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I can-
I rolled them up. Kept them in my garage.
You put re-elect on them or just,
No, this is where it was.
I don't know how John's gonna have time to launch any campaign. He's so busy. I stopped to see him the other day because I brought my car
I
down.
want to say it was 3 to 1.
He is so busy with that move into his new garage.
They scored like 11 runs.
Me and Dominic were there last night when I stopped to get gas.
And then drafted it.
Where? Hey, he is so busy with that whole move.
Sweets there all the time. I got the garage all the time.
And he's picking up even more business because of his
11 to
vacation.
6 was
Yeah, people want to drive out in the sticks.
Oh,
I told
this
him he
is
needs his
for
head
Your
examined.
friend.
They came to the mall.
Claire, I told him he needs his head examined.
She wore that dress to work yesterday.
He got a new place right in town. He is so freaking busy, he's not. Plus he's in the middle of making. He's got no time to get
All of a sudden, I want them to leave it.
Your difference in money is no different.
Breakfast Club. I think they riled themselves all up. The Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
2 p.m. is fine. I can do that whole day.
Roy, can you do 2 o'clock that day?
Yeah. That's actually better for me. Because I was going to take the whole day off. I just take it off. Oh.
Much better for me. Afternoons or late. Yeah. It's fun, it's fun.
It's just, we gotta send a notice out.
Did you check the Tommy? Good.
Yeah, or he said,
Would you roll? You'd be surprised.
no, I think it'll be good, because we'll be here at 4 anyway.
I don't think they're a
Hey, don't take that seat yet.
relation. The Crohn's that I'm related to, they grew up on Metro Road.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You didn't see that. Where Joe is now.
And I saw that.
That's where my parents was, years ago. It was a lot nicer.
You do that to me, I'll punch you.
Stanley.
Is that?
In fact,
So right now,
he
I'm.
was actually a very nice guy. And then Stevie, which was a couple years older than me, I used to be helping show college. And there's Timmy. You know, Timmy's got these, he's grown.
Why are you going through all my stuff?
Because I wrote the final score on it.
Is there something weird?
I'm not getting into all that, I'm reading the proclamation.
No, those, yeah.
Probably something.
But yeah.
Never know if you those guys over there. Get her.
Yeah.
Is that right, Shadow?
In fact, I seen him out here about a month ago. He was out there with, you know, heart rate. You know, that's his wife, I guess. Right?
Barb,
Change the channel.
She got him.
Barb.
I didn't, but
you actually have a primary
yeah.
Yes.
on September 13th.
13th, yeah.
Is that what Pat, or what party is he?
He was in there when I
Well, he has Republican, Conservative, and Independent.
What are you?
I'm just gonna be
Still
Republican.
hanging around Bill.
So you're not
Yeah.
They used the
primary?
juice to get me off Conservative.
Couldn't you
And I didn't
still?
even try to get Independent.
But yeah.
But did you get signatures for conservatives?
I did.
So don't you still have the primary?
I didn't do that.
Yeah.
That's something, I need pictures recently, so I
And
think
they
it's.
would bring their camper,
Go door to door.
sleep in there.
Yeah, they sleep right there.
So he's on a line regardless. He's on 2 lines regardless, independent.
He's on 2 lines regardless.
And who's the other one?
Just for
Start?
something to do, I use my Time Warner app to change.
So he's on definite, because he's got no primary, has he?
He isn't, I thought he might have.
Put on Jimmy's slide.
So there's definitely gonna be a contest
Oh,
in
there's gonna be a
November.
contest.
Even if you lose the Republican, there's definitely gonna be a contest, even if you lost the Republican line.
Well, remember, because the Board of Elections is saying that you have to get your independent petitions from them, even though that's a complete lie.
Oh, are you doing that too?
Of course I am.
So you're gonna have your own party name, or whatever you call it. So you'll be on, oh, so there's definitely a 3-way race, there's no way there can't be.
My Rose and Sharon, they didn't even.
Start could end up being the dark horse.
Listen, he will never be a dark horse.
What did you beat him by last time?
I beat him by about 40.
Wow. Out of how many voted? 1,000? You didn't have 1,000
No, but
people?
the problem is, you gotta remember the demographics. People didn't come out and vote because it's
Yeah.
personal.
There's gonna be a big turnout, 'cause it's presidential. How many do you think
And
voted?
you think the emotions, they think the emotions are stirred?
Me too.
They're big time stirred.
So what was the total vote? How many voted in that election?
Under, let's see, roughly about 350.
That's it? Each or 350 total?
The Democrats for me were like 30%.
It's always about 33%.
So
We had 1,000 voted with Brian and I, and all the districts are chopped up the same amount of people, right?
We have about, I have about 50, I have about 5,400 people.
Same as me. We had 1,000. I beat Brian by 50, but it was like 550 to 500.